Hello and welcome back to Adrian's model page. Today I'm going to be looking at smoothing 3D printed items. I've got a few things on here that we're going to be looking at. Basically this is the part that I want to be smoothing out. It's a part for a heavy trooper on the Mandalorian series, and it's part of the armour that I'm building up for myself. So the things I'll be using today, obviously safety gloves because I'm using resin. I've got an old paintbrush, I've got some IPA spray and a cloth just to wipe the parts down. I do have a UV light to one side ready to cure the resin, and I've got some paper towels in case I make a mess. So let's have a look at what we're going to do. I'll just get my gloves on and then we can start. Right, so the part that I'm doing is basically a part off the back of the armour for the hand. When I'm printing on filament printing, I normally print around 0.20 to 0.28 depending on speed. Some of the parts, are not that important, so you don't need the quality on there. And as I say, with resin smoothing, you can get a nice finish on that in a fairly fast manner anyway. This one, I think, was printed at 0.20. I've got a couple of these to do, but we'll just have a look at this one and just give you an idea of how it is. I mean, the traditional way is to spray a filler on there and then sand it down, then spray some more filler on there, sand it down, maybe put some Bondo on there, or body filler as we call it over here, and just keep doing it that way. But I just found, I think it was Uncle Jesse on YouTube, that he uses resin, small amount, puts it on there, cures it, and then you can sand it down a lot quicker and it fills up a lot faster as well. The old brush I've had it years now. I'm using it the last year for probably doing resin smoothing. Just dip it in the resin and just paint it on. It's as simple as that. You can hear, I think, on the camera there, some of the lines that's giving it the noise on there. We'll do the one side and this half, and then we'll put the light on there. And once it's cured, we'll show you what we've got on there. Just grab my light. I'll just move this out of the way because I did see on one video that they actually cured the container with the resin in there, so we'll move that out of the way and we'll just get my paintbrush out of the way as well. Now I did buy this one specifically for curing resin parts outside before I had a proper turntable and everything and a UV booth and that. So there we go. It's literally a couple of seconds and this will be done. Just while I'm doing this, I must point out that yes, normally when I'm working with resin I do wear a mask, but I'm in a well ventilated room at the moment just for the few minutes just while I'm doing this without a mask on, so you can actually hear what I'm saying as I'm working. I do have safety goggles on as well, just in case I do happen to splash any resin up and into my eyes. So that's that side done. Let's just move that out of the way. Quickly just turn this around and get the other side done. Obviously a lot of people won't be using resin, they will be using the old sanding and filling method. But if you do have a resin printer, it's worth bearing in mind that you can do this. There are those who add talcum powder to the resin as well, nothing wrong with that. It makes it more of a filler. But I literally just do this, sand it down a couple of times. Probably I use about a 400 grit. It's not very sharp at all. I mean, I've seen people use 60s and 80s to start off and work their way down to the finer grits. Now that's done there, basically. That's cured. But the thing is, you'll see, it's very, very greasy. And that's where the IPA and the cloth comes in. Let's spray some on there and give it a wipe down. This is the one thing where I've noticed on a few videos where they don't mention to just do this. Some people have stuck it in the vat, in the tub that they've got. I just wipe this off and it's done. And that is ready to sand. So I'll be back shortly and we'll do a little bit of sanding and then we'll see what the sort of results we've got on that. Right, as you can see, as I said, oh, this is 240 grit, sorry, not 400. It's a little old takeaway container, get some water on there, and just send it away. Obviously one coat is not going to do a miracle straight away, but you'll find after maybe 2, maybe even 3 coats, it will be smooth enough for you to actually start putting some primer on there. Already that's took quite a lot out of that one. A little bit of build up of primer, resin down there, but again, a few more minutes on sanding on that one and we'd be done. Let's get that one dried up. I can add some more resin onto that one and cure that one. You can see once it's dry, you can see the areas where it's covered and where it's not covered. So like I say, we'll put a little bit more on there, get that cured again. Don't want to be too thick, especially if you've got something that you've got some detail on there, because you don't want to lose the detail. It's better, I think, to go on in thinner layers. Let's try and do this way. Thinner layers and build it up rather than put one big thick layer on and have a big blob of resin in one corner. Move that out of the way and on with the light again. I just found I did a helmet back in the summer. I just found it was much quicker. I've done one previously at the beginning of the year that I did with filler and with sanding, and I was out there constantly filling, sanding until I found that video. Then all of a sudden I found the second helmet was a lot quicker to do than the first one that I did. So as I'll be planning to do a full heavy trooper from the Mandalorian show, there's going to be a lot of filling and sanding, so I figured I'll be doing this on the majority of the parts. Okay, that's took off the residue, the grease, whatever it may be that's coming out, and we can get on with doing a bit more sanding. If you have got something big and flat like this, you could use a sanding block, you know, just to make sure that you're not putting pressure in areas where you don't need it, or the curve of your finger, and that way you would stay nice and flat. Already I can't hear the zipping noise as it was going across the lines on the first pass. You can hear it there when it goes into this little groove here. You can hear it go into there, but on the top here already it's filling those lines in. I'm concentrating, just get a little bit of that out of there. And the pass. If you're going to try this method, like I say, sometimes one pass does it, sometimes two. You know, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. Once you've got the level of smoothness that you're happy with, it may be something that you don't need with a glass-like finish. If you're doing like battle-worn damage or something on a part, it can be up and down. For the majority of the time, I find 2, at the most 3 passes, and that's it done. You literally don't want to be there all day, as otherwise you may as well just fill and sand it anyway. Although while you're waiting for the sander to the filler to set, you could probably have done 2 or 3 parts in that time doing in this method. So that dried off. So this needs a lot more sanding on here. The resin's on there, smoothing it out, but it does need a lot more to go across there and take that down now. Just a small point, I never tend to use anything more than 240, anything lower than 240, sorry. And like I say, I usually go to 400 afterwards to make sure I get that smooth finish if it's needed. The helmet that I'll be doing is a battle damaged one, so it will have a lot of uneven surfaces on it and pot marks on there, and scoring from shots that have hit his head obviously. So it won't need to be glass smooth all over because it's going to show the wear and tear of the user on there. That one will wipe over. Yeah, just going to need a little bit more. I might just get the sanding block just so I keep this surface flat anyway and get these edges purely flat, as this one is going on the back of the hands. But again, like I said, it's going to be a battle damaged armour set anyway, so it doesn't have to be absolutely mint Beskar looking. Well, I hope that's given you some information and something to think about. Like I say, if you do use resin, it might be something worth doing later on. And give it a shot and see how you feel, and I'll get back to you with another video and an update later. Thanks for watching.